Hello students, welcome to the class on p block elements. P block elements are the elements in which the valence electron enters into the p orbital. The p block elements are placed on the right side of the periodic table. So these include metals, non-metals, metalloids, halogens and noble gases. The elements which are placed from the group 13 to group 18 are called as p block elements. In this group 13 and 14 we have learnt in first year. Group 15, 16, 17 and 18 we will be learning in the second year. So in this video I will be discussing only about group 15 and group 16. The group 15 is also called as nitrogen family or nicogens, which refer to the choking property of nitrogen gas. And group 16, that is oxygen family, is also known as chalcogens. So now we'll discuss about group 15 elements. Group 15 elements are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. In group 15 elements, if we look at their electronic configuration, the general electronic configuration is Ns2 Np3. That means there are totally 5 valence electrons in group 15 elements. And moreover, if you observe the p orbital, the valence p orbital, it has only 3 electrons. That means the p orbital is half filled. As a result, it gains extra stability. In group 15 elements, nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals, whereas arsenic and antimony are metalloids and bismuth is a metal. This picture explains the trend in their physical properties. When we move across the period, the electrons are added to the same shell. As a result, the effective nuclear charge on the valence electron increases and size of the atom decreases. But when we move down the group, the new electrons are added to the new shell and hence the effective nuclear charge on the valence electron decreases. As a result, the size of the atom increases down the group. Based on this, we can explain the other physical properties like ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity. Since the size of the atom decreases across the period, the hold of the nucleus on the outermost electron is high. Hence, to remove the outermost electron out of the atom, that is to ionize the atom, it becomes difficult. Therefore, the ionization enthalpy increases. Even the electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity increases across the period. But when we go down the group, the effective nuclear charge on the outermost electron decreases and hence the ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy and also electronegativity decreases down the group. You can even see how the metallic character changes. When we move across the period, the non-metallic character increases, and when we go from right to left of the periodic table, the metallic character increases. Now let's learn about their oxidation states. So as we already discussed, nitrogen has half-filled p orbital. That means it has 3 electrons in the p orbital and it can accept 3 more electrons to attain noble gas configuration. So the nitrogen can show even the -3 oxidation state in addition to +1, +2, +3, +4 and +5 oxidation states. But when we look at the other elements of the nitrogen family, that is phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, they can show +3 and +5 oxidation state. But when we go down the group, the stability of the +5 oxidation state decreases. You can even see some of the examples given here. Nitrogen trichloride, phosphorus trichloride, arsenic trichloride all these elements in the +3 oxidation state, they form covalent compound. Whereas antimony trifluoride and bismuth trifluoride in the +3 oxidation state gives ionic compound. So as I told you, the stability of -3 oxidation state decreases down the group because of the two main factors, that is increase in the size of the atom and the metallic character. So metals can never exhibit minus oxidation states. And stability of +3 oxidation state increases and +5 oxidation state decreases because of the inert pair effect. Now what is this inert pair effect? When we go down the group, there is addition of orbitals like D and F. And these orbitals have poor shielding effect. And because of this, they are not able to shield the valence electrons to a greater extent. Hence, the valence electron are under the influence of the nucleus and they become inert towards the bond formation. Hence, these electrons are not available for the bond formation. That is, the electrons present in s orbitals are not available for the bond formation, and hence the oxidation state possible for such element is only +3. So when we go to bismuth, bismuth pentafluoride is only the compound which is known with the +5 oxidation state. No other compounds of bismuth exist with the +5 oxidation state. So these are some of the properties of group 15 elements. Their physical state: nitrogen is a gas, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, all of them are solids. Nitrogen has two isotopes N14 and N15. The atomic mass goes on increasing. In the electronic configuration, you can check out the new shells have been added. Atomic radius goes on increasing because of the addition of new orbitals. Density also increases. Boiling point increases, but when we come back to melting point increases up to antimony, but it decreases for bismuth, and that is because of the inert pair effect. So bismuth can form only 3 covalent bonds and not 5 because of the inert pair effect. As a result, the melting point of the element decreases. These are some of the compounds of nitrogen with the different oxidation states. Ammonia with the oxidation state of nitrogen as -3, hydrazine as -2, hydride as -1, dinitrogen as 0, nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, dinitrogen trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen pentoxide, where the oxidation states will increase from 1 to 5. In oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen shows only the positive oxidation state, and as the oxidation state of nitrogen atom increases, the acidic strength also increases. Nitrogen can exhibit anomalous property. Nitrogen atom has smaller size, and because of this it has high ionization enthalpy, high electronegativity, and there is no d orbital in the nitrogen element. Therefore, it shows anomalous property, and because of this it exists as diatomic molecule with p-pi multiple bonds with itself. No other elements in the nitrogen family can show this type of bonding. Nitrogen atom can also undergo disproportionation reaction, a reaction where there is simultaneous oxidation and reduction. You can look at the example here. Nitrous acid gets oxidized to nitric acid and reduces to nitric oxide with the water as byproduct. So in nitrous acid, the oxidation state of nitrogen is +3, which increases to +5 in the nitric acid and decreases to +2 in nitric oxide. Now let us learn about the chemical properties of some of the compounds of group 15 elements. Group 15 elements can form compounds with hydrogen, oxygen, halogens and metals. some of the points have been highlighted in red color. Those points are really very important. With hydrogen, they give only one type of compound, that is metal hydride. With oxygen, it gives E2O3 and E2O5, two types of oxides. Even with halogens, it is EX3 and EX5, showing +3 and +5 oxidation states. And with metals, it forms a binary compounds exhibiting only +3 oxidation state. If we take up hydrides of group 15 elements, their stability, basicity and covalent character decreases down the group, whereas reducing character increases. For example, ammonia is only a mild reducing agent, whereas bismuth hydride is the strongest reducing agent. The reason is the reducing character increases down the group. So when we look at the oxides, the acidic character also decreases down the group. But oxides with a +5 oxidation state is more acidic compared to the oxides of the elements with +3 oxidation state. So E2O3 of nitrogen and phosphorus, where nitrogen and phosphorus are in +3 oxidation state, are purely acidic, and that of arsenic and antimony are amphoteric, and bismuth is predominantly basic. Moving on to halogens. Halogens, the pentahalides, are more covalent than trihalides. Trihalides except bismuth trifluoride are predominantly covalent in nature. That means bismuth trifluoride is only a compound which is ionic in nature. And in case of nitrogen, only nitrogen trifluoride is known to be stable, and the remaining all are explosives. Next, moving on to binary compounds with metals. So nitrogen, when it forms a binary compound with calcium, we get calcium nitride. Similarly, calcium phosphide, sodium arsenide, zinc antimonide, magnesium bismuthide. Now let us take some of the examples of compounds of nitrogen. The first one is dinitrogen. Dinitrogen is a colorless, odorless, tasteless and non-toxic gas. It has two stable isotopes, N14 and N15. It has very low solubility in water and low freezing and boiling points. It is chemically inert at room temperature. Here are some of the methods of preparation of dinitrogen. The first one is laboratory method. Treating an aqueous solution of ammonium chloride with sodium nitride gives nitrogen gas, water and sodium chloride. Thermal decomposition of ammonium dichromate also results in the formation of nitrogen gas. Thermal decomposition of sodium or barium azide. Azide means the molecule with 3 nitrogen atoms bonded to each other. Barium azide decomposes to give barium and nitrogen gas. The commercial method used to obtain dinitrogen is liquefaction of air and then fractional distillation of the liquid air formed. The well-known compound of nitrogen is ammonia. Ammonia is a colorless gas with a pungent odor. Its freezing and boiling points are 198.4 and 239.7 Kelvin respectively. We all know that the structure of ammonia is trigonal pyramidal. Nitrogen is sp3 hybridized and it has lone pair of electrons at the apex of nitrogen atom. The bond angle is 107.8 degrees with the bond length 101.7 picometer. Ammonia is highly soluble in water, giving ammonium hydroxide. The main reason for this is its ability to form hydrogen bonding, that is intermolecular hydrogen bonding with water molecules. A very important method of preparation of ammonia is Haber's process. In Haber's process, nitrogen gas is made to react with hydrogen gas in the presence of ion catalyst, and promoter used here are alumina with potassium oxide or even molybdenum. The conditions required to prepare ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen is 700 Kelvin temperature, very high temperature, and the pressure of 20 megapascals. Ammonia can also be prepared by the decay of nitrogenous organic matter, that is urea, and decomposition of ammonium salts when treated with caustic soda and lime. So decay of nitrogenous organic matter is a natural process. Now moving on to the chemical properties of ammonia. Ammonia acts as a Lewis base because it has a lone pair of electrons and it can easily donate it. So when ammonia is dissolved in water, it gives ammonium hydroxide. Zinc sulfate, when treated with ammonia, gives the white precipitate of zinc hydroxide along with the formation of ammonium sulfate. Similarly, when ferric chloride is made to react with ammonium hydroxide, that is ammonia in water, it gives the brown colored precipitate of ferric oxide, which is also known as rust, and the byproduct is ammonium chloride. Cupric ion reacts with ammonia to give a complex, that is tetraamine copper 2 complex ion, and this ion is blue in color. Same way, ammonia also forms a complex ion with silver, that is diamine silver 1 ion, oxidation state +1, and this is white in color. Here are some of the uses of ammonia. Ammonia is used to produce various nitrogenous fertilizers like ammonium nitrate, urea, ammonium phosphate, and ammonium sulfate. It is also used in the manufacture of some inorganic nitrogen compounds like nitric acid, which is a laboratory reagent, and liquid ammonia is also used as a refrigerant to lower down the temperature. The next compound of nitrogen is nitric acid. Nitric acid is a planar molecule in the gaseous state. Nitrogen forms a number of oxides in different oxidation states. Hyponitrous acid, nitrous acid, and nitric acids are some of the examples. Nitric acid is a colorless liquid with the freezing point 231.4 Kelvin and boiling point 355.6 Kelvin. It's a laboratory reagent which is 68% of nitric acid by mass, having the specific gravity of 1.504. The famous method used to manufacture nitric acid is Ostwald's process. This is nothing but the oxidation of ammonia. Ostwald's process involves 3 steps. First step is oxidation of ammonia in the presence of platinum rhodium catalyst at the temperature of 500 Kelvin and pressure 9 bar. It gives nitric oxide with water in the gaseous state. This nitric oxide is further oxidized to give nitrogen dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide obtained when dissolved in water gives nitric acid, which is in the aqueous state, and nitric oxide, a gas. Nitric acid is used in the manufacture of fertilizers, explosives, and also in pyrotechnics. It is also used in the preparation of nitroglycerin, trinitrotoluene, and other organic nitro compounds. The very important use of nitric acid is pickling of stainless steel, etching of metals, and as an oxidizer in rocket fuels. Here are some of the chemical properties of nitric acid. So as we all know, nitric acid is a very strong acid and it is also a strong oxidizing agent. Nitric acid, when dissolved in water, can easily lose a proton. Since it is an acid, it can easily donate a proton to give hydronium ion and nitrate ion. It can oxidize most of the metals except the noble metals such as gold and platinum. Nitric acid acts on the copper in 2 different ways. When copper is made to react with dilute nitric acid, it gives cupric nitrate and nitric oxide as a byproduct. But when copper reacts with concentrated nitric acid, it gives cupric nitrate and nitrogen dioxide as a byproduct. That is the difference when copper reacts with dilute and concentrated nitric acid. So with dilute nitric acid, copper gives nitric oxide gas, and with concentrated nitric acid, copper gives nitrogen dioxide gas. Similarly, when zinc reacts with dilute nitric acid, in addition to zinc nitrate, it gives nitrous oxide, and when zinc reacts with concentrated nitric acid, in addition to zinc nitrate, it gives nitrogen dioxide. Some of the metals are passive towards the nitric acid because when the metals like iron, aluminum, chromium and nickel are treated with concentrated nitric acid, they form a passive film of oxide on their surface. Hence, these metals will not further react with concentrated nitric acid. Concentrated nitric acid also reacts with non-metals and oxidizes them. So when iodine is treated with nitric acid, it gives hydroiodic acid. Carbon gives carbon dioxide, sulfur produces sulfuric acid, phosphorus produces phosphoric acid, and nitric acid gets converted to nitrogen dioxide. And in all the reactions, water will be the byproduct obtained. Next is brown ring test. This is a very important reaction. In this case, nitrate is made to react with the ferrous salt in the presence of the acid. The reaction results in the formation of nitric oxide, ferric ion and water molecule. So this mixture can further produce a complex ion, that is pentaaqua nitroso iron complex ion. Next, moving on to phosphorus. Phosphorus has three different allotropes, that is white, red and black. White phosphorus has tetrahedral shape and red phosphorus is a polymeric with tetrahedral units linked to each other, and black phosphorus is also having a polymeric structure, and it is classified into alpha black phosphorus and beta black phosphorus. White phosphorus is a volatile waxy solid. It dangerously reacts with air, glows in the dark showing chemiluminescence, and spontaneously bursts into flame when it is impure. Whereas red phosphorus is a red powder, it is non-reactive with air at room temperature, and black phosphorus is a black crystalline solid which is also non-reactive with air at room temperature. Black phosphorus is further classified into beta black phosphorus and alpha black phosphorus. Beta black phosphorus is obtained by heating white phosphorus, whereas alpha black phosphorus is obtained by heating red phosphorus. Beta black phosphorus has conjugated sheets which results in the formation of flaky layered crystals, and because of this layered structure it can conduct electricity. Whereas alpha black phosphorus is opaque monoclinic or rhombohedral crystal, and because of this it will not conduct electricity. The very important compound of phosphorus is phosphine. Phosphine is a colorless poisonous gas with rotten fish smell. It explodes in contact with traces of oxidizing agents like nitric acid, chlorine and bromine vapors. It is slightly soluble in water. In the presence of light, it gives red phosphorus and hydrogen. Phosphine is weakly basic like ammonia, and it gives phosphonium compounds with acids. When absorbed in copper sulfate or mercury chloride solution, phosphides are formed, and the reaction is given below. Copper sulfate plus phosphorus gives cupric phosphide and sulfuric acid. So here are the methods of preparation. Phosphine can be prepared by dissolving calcium phosphide in water, which results in the formation of calcium hydroxide and phosphine gas. Similarly, when calcium phosphide is treated with concentrated HCl, it gives calcium chloride and phosphine gas. The very important method of preparation of phosphine is treating phosphorus vapors with the base. When phosphorus is treated with sodium hydroxide solution, it gives phosphine and sodium hypophosphite. If the phosphine obtained is impure, then it is highly inflammable. So it should be purified by making it to react with potassium hydroxide. So phosphonium iodide reacts with potassium hydroxide to give potassium iodide, water and pure phosphine gas. Uses of phosphine. The spontaneous combustion of phosphine is technically used in home signal. This is a signal used to locate the ships in the sea. The containers of calcium carbide and calcium phosphide are pierced and then they are dropped into the seawater to produce a large amount of smoke, which helps to locate the ship in the sea. It is also used in the smoke screens. Phosphorus can form two different forms of halides when made to react with halogens. And the very important halogen used here is chlorine. So phosphorus reacts with chlorine to give phosphorus trichloride and phosphorus pentachloride. And both of these are chlorinating agents. Phosphorus trichloride has pyramidal structure and phosphorus pentachloride has trigonal bipyramidal structure, where the 3 chlorine atoms are placed in the equatorial positions and 2 chlorine atoms are placed in the axial position. In addition to this, in the solid state, phosphorus pentachloride exists as an ionic solid as PCl4 plus and PCl6 minus. PCl4 plus ion, that is cation, has a tetrahedral shape, whereas the anion has a octahedral shape. Phosphorus trichloride is obtained by passing dry chlorine over heated white phosphorus, and the second method of preparation of phosphorus trichloride is by the action of thionyl chloride, that is SOCl2 with white phosphorus. Whereas phosphorus pentachloride is prepared by the reaction of white phosphorus with excess of dry chlorine, and the second method by the action of sulfuryl chloride on phosphorus. Phosphorus trichloride is a colorless oily liquid and phosphorus pentachloride is a yellowish white powder. Phosphorus trichloride hydrolyzes in the presence of moisture to phosphonic acid, that is H3PO3. Whereas phosphorus pentachloride hydrolyzes in the presence of moisture and which then later gets converted into phosphoric acid, that is H3PO4. These are some of the very important oxo acids of phosphorus. H3PO4 orthophosphoric acid, H4P2O7 pyrophosphoric acid. Pyrophosphoric acid is a dimer of phosphoric acid with the loss of water molecule. Third one is orthophosphorus acid and fourth one is hypophosphorus acid, H3PO2. In oxo acids, phosphorus is tetrahedrally surrounded by other atoms. All these acids contain one P double bond O and at least one POH bond. The oxo acids in which phosphorus has lower oxidation state, that is less than +5, contain either PP or PH bond in addition to P double bond O or POH bonds, but not both together. So the examples for this is orthophosphorus acid and hypophosphorus acids. So you can see the hydrogen atom colored with the red. Here the phosphorus atom has the oxidation state less than 5. The pH bonds in oxo acids of phosphorus is non-ionizable. Hence, we cannot determine the basicity based on the number of hydrogen atoms bonded to the phosphorus. Instead, it is determined by the number of hydrogen atoms present in POH bonds. For example, in orthophosphoric acid, there are 3 OH groups bonded to phosphorus atom and hence the basicity of orthophosphoric acid is 3. The acids which contain pH bond have strong reducing properties. Thus, hypophosphorus acid is a good reducing agent because it has 2 pH bonds. Orthophosphorus acid undergoes disproportionation reaction when heated and it gives orthophosphoric acid and phosphine. Next, moving on to group 16 elements, oxygen family or chalcogens. The group 16 elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. The outermost electronic configuration of group 16 elements is Ns2 Np4. So here they have 6 valence electrons and there are 4 electrons in the p orbitals. So we have discussed the trends in their physical properties under group 15 elements, and the same thing applies here also. So when we move across the period, the atomic size decreases and down the group atomic size increases. Accordingly, the ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, electronegativity increases across the period and decreases down the group. In this, oxygen and sulfur are nonmetals, selenium and tellurium are metalloids, whereas polonium is a metal and it is a radioactive element with a half-life of 13.8 days. And all of these elements exhibit allotropy. The melting and the boiling point increases down the group. There is a large difference between the melting and boiling points of oxygen and sulfur. This is because of their atomicity. Oxygen is a diatomic molecule. It has 2 atoms of oxygen, whereas sulfur is a polyatomic molecule with 8 atoms. Next compound is dioxygen. Dioxygen is a colorless, odorless gas and its solubility in water is only 3.08 cm cube, and this much amount of oxygen in water is sufficient for the aquatic animals to live. It liquefies at 90 Kelvin and freezes at 55 Kelvin. The 3 stable isotopes of oxygen are oxygen 16, 17 and 18. Molecular oxygen is paramagnetic in spite of having even number of electrons because there are 2 unpaired electrons in the antibonding molecular orbitals of oxygen molecule. Methods of preparation. Oxygen can be easily obtained from hydrogen peroxide. When the hydrogen peroxide solution is just kept open, it can easily give oxygen and water. Thermal decomposition of potassium chloride in the presence of manganese oxide catalyst gives potassium chloride and oxygen gas. Similarly, oxides of metals like silver, mercury, lead can also produce oxygen gas. Oxygen can also be obtained by electrolysis of water by passing electricity through the water. Industrially, dioxygen is obtained from air. Now, chemical properties of oxygen is dioxygen reacts with most of the metals and non-metals except gold and platinum and some noble gases. Some of the oxides are formed by catalytic oxidation. Here are some of the uses of oxygen. Oxygen is used in oxyacetylene and oxyhydrogen torches used for cutting and welding of metals. Liquid oxygen is used as a fuel for rockets and missiles. The combustion of fuels, that is hydrogen in liquid oxygen, provides tremendous thrust in rockets. These are some simple oxides. Oxides are classified into 4 different types: acidic oxides, basic oxides, amphoteric oxides and neutral oxides. Acidic oxides are the oxides which combine with water to give acids. Examples are oxides of sulfur, chlorine, carbon and nitrogen. When sulfur dioxide combines with water, it gives H2SO3, sulfurous acid. Basic oxides are the oxides which combine with water to give a base. Oxides of sodium, calcium and barium, that is oxides of S block elements, are basic oxides. Calcium oxide reacts with water to give calcium hydroxide. Amphoteric oxides, these can behave as acidic oxide as well as basic oxide. The best example is alumina, which reacts with acid as well as base. Neutral oxides are neither acidic nor basic in nature. Examples are carbon monoxide, nitric oxide and nitrous oxide. Next, ozone. This is a very important allotropic form of oxygen. Ozone is prepared when slow dry stream of oxygen is passed through a silent electric discharge. Pure ozone is a pale blue gas, dark blue liquid and violet black solid. Ozone has a characteristic smell and in small concentrations it is harmless. It acts as a powerful oxidizing agent and brings about oxidation reaction. Ozone oxidizes nitric oxide to nitrogen dioxide. The nitric oxide which is emitted by supersonic jet planes, is oxidized by ozone present in the nature to nitrogen dioxide. As a result, it depletes the ozone layer. Structure of ozone is an angular shape. It is a resonance hybrid of the following two different forms. Ozone is used as a germicide, disinfectant. It is used in bleaching oils, ivory, flour, starch, etc. And it is also used as an oxidizing agent in the manufacture of potassium permanganate. Next element is sulfur. Sulfur can exist as rhombic sulfur or monoclinic sulfur. When sulfur is a polyatomic molecule with S8 molecule, it has crown structure. Rhombic sulfur, when heated above 369 Kelvin, it gets converted into monoclinic sulfur having the needle shape. Sulfur dioxide is a very important compound of sulfur. Sulfur dioxide also has the angular shape and it is the resonance hybrid of the following two canonical forms. Sulfur dioxide is used in refining petroleum and sugar, in bleaching wool and silk. It is also used as an anti-clor, disinfectant and preservative. Liquid sulfur dioxide is also used as a solvent. Oxoacids of sulfur: H2SO3 sulfurous acid, H2SO4 sulfuric acid, H2S2O8 that is peroxodisulfuric acid, H2S2O7 pyrosulfuric acid or oleum. These are very important oxoacids of sulfur. Sulfuric acid, which is also known as oil of vitriol or king of chemicals, is manufactured by contact process. That is oxidation of sulfur dioxide in the presence of vanadium pentoxide catalyst. So the process is shown here. The following diagram will show you the entire process. Initially, the sulfur is injected into the sulfur burner where it is oxidized in the presence of air, and then it is subjected to the washing and cooling tower where it is washed using water spray. Then it is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid in order to dry the mixture of gas. This dry sulfur dioxide and oxygen gas mixture subjected to arsenic purifier to remove any arsenic impurity, and then it is preheated. Finally, it is fed into catalytic converter having vanadium pentoxide catalyst where the sulfur dioxide is oxidized into sulfur trioxide gas, and then it is finally treated with concentrated sulfuric acid to get oleum. So these are the chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is a dibasic acid because it has two ionizable hydrogen atoms, and as a result it shows acidic character. Sulfuric acid is also a strong dehydrating agent. So when glucose is made to react with sulfuric acid, it dehydrates glucose into carbon and releases 11 molecules of water. Sulfuric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes metal like copper into copper sulfate and sulfur into sulfur dioxide, carbon into carbon dioxide, and itself it gets converted into sulfur dioxide. Sulfuric acid is used to manufacture more volatile acids from their corresponding salts because it has low volatility. So when metal halide is treated with sulfuric acid, it gives corresponding acid and sulfate of the metal. For example, when sodium chloride is treated with sulfuric acid, it gives hydrochloric acid and sodium sulfate as the product. Uses of sulfuric acid: it is used in the manufacture of fertilizers, refining of petroleum, in the metallurgical applications, in storage batteries and lead accumulators, in the manufacture of explosives like nitrocellulose, and also in chemical industries. So this was about group 15 and group 16 elements and their very important compounds. Thank you.